Good evening. Thank you for coming, and good evening to all those on webcast. Whoever is there, a very warm welcome. So, my name is Suparna, and I'm one of the coordinators at Inner Space in South London. So, it's my great pleasure to be here with all of you to share. We say talk, but this is actually a sharing. And it's a beautiful topic, unraveling the mind maze. And while traveling to Wembley Inner Space from South London Inner Space in Colliers Wood, I'd never traveled so much on the tube. So it was new for me. And you know how it is. And I said, my goodness, will I reach on time? So I started at 4 o'clock. I said, I have to be there on time. So look how the mind is working now, these thoughts. And I thought, okay, so I went on this TFL thing and trying to find out what the route is. I said, oh gosh, I've got to change 3 trains, you know. But anyway, as the journey continued, I said, oh, this is easy. All I have to do is cross the platform. You know, you take the Northern Line and then you get off at a particular place, then you take the Victoria Line, then you cross the platform and then you take the Bakerloo Line. I said, this is so easy. And then I saw so many stations. It was all so much newness. And then my mind, I started enjoying it. This place, I'd never heard of this name. And soon I was at Wembley Central. So I was watching myself, how you start with this element of uncertainty and a little bit of fear as well. Will I reach on time? So I start almost 3 hours before. And I needn't have started 3 hours before. I could have started an hour before. But it's always nice to be here. But then as you start to get more comfortable, I will reach. It's the certainty of knowing that I will reach. Where else can the train go? It has to go. And all I have to do is get off at the right station. But if we allow the mind to talk to you, and you start to create worry or anxiety and doubts and what if I forget, what if I fall asleep? It's not going to happen. And yet I'm playing with myself. This mind is playing with me. And what do? I get caught in a maze. And now I don't know how to come out of it. So I was watching myself because I was reflecting on this topic. I've been reflecting on it for a while, but today, as things were moving, the reflection changed. The anxiety, the fears, and the worry changed into something very exciting. I started looking forward to the evening. And lo and behold, by 20 past 5, I was at Wembley. I said, oh, that was easy. Nothing to worry about. My mind was spinning things. What if I get off at the wrong stop? Then what do I have to do? Go on Google, go on TFL. Then the mind is already creating solutions to what ifs. Problem hasn't happened, but I'm already creating the solution. And I was wondering, walking from Wembley Central to Inner Space Wembley, why was I thinking like that? Interesting, isn't it? Why was I thinking in those terms? And I realized that the mind is here for my protection. Mind's job is to think, but it will always think in a way that will keep me protected. Protected from the doubts, protected from what ifs, protected from any mishap. So we're always looking for solutions. We look for 3 solutions to a problem that hasn't happened. But in case it happens. So we've become people with in cases. And in that case, we perceive every sort of problem we could face on a journey. Right? Would you say that? And all of these problems are centered around 3 P's. Would you like to make a guess? What are these problems centered around? They're centered around people, which is our relationships, our possessions, my house, my car, my job, my status in society, yeah, and possessions, my possessions and positions. That is the status in society. What if I lost my job? So much so that when somebody retires, because they have worked so hard for their position, they will say their name, retired, and then the various degrees that they have had and the positions they have had, ex-chairman, ex-CEO. We hold on so much. We hold on to so much. And that is because we have made our whole life dependent on these identities. Would you say that? Now let's look at a different way how the mind goes into a maze. Mind is what? The function of the mind is to create thought. We are not here to stop thoughts. It's the function of the mind, and the thought processing function is a beautiful function, an essential function for our journey on earth. Every day we have to wake up, every day we have to do our job, whatever. We may be in the house, we may be going out to work, dropping children, or doing whatever. We still need to think. But there are certain things we don't need to think about. I could be hoovering, cooking, cutting vegetables. I don't have to think now I'm going to cut vegetables in a certain order. It's an automated. I know how to do it. But my mind could be spiraling in a different direction. And what am I thinking of? I'm either thinking of the past or I'm thinking of the future. And I've lost my present moment. Thinking of the past. Now, what are the main things we think about mainly of the past? Do we think about a time and, oh, I was so happy at that time? Do I ever say, oh, mind, take me to a place where I was very, very unhappy? I don't think about it. I don't ask for it. I automatically go there. Agreed? Or a time where I was confused. And then, if my child hasn't come home, I'm sitting, watching my favorite television program. Favorite food is on the table. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And my child hasn't returned. No phone call, nothing. Now what happens? I'm watching the television, but am I really watching it? Favorite food is on the table. Do I have an appetite? What's going on? We're thinking, but what are we thinking? We are thinking negative. What happened? Why aren't they home? What could have happened? What if he's fallen? We are thinking the worst possible disaster that could happen. Emotional death. In seconds, from going to being really happy and excited, we go into our emotional downfall. And then 8 o'clock, the bell rings. I open the door, and what is the first thing I do? Do I greet them well and say, oh, you're home? No, because my mind I'm so worked up that I don't welcome this child back. And you start verbalizing all your anxiety, your worries, and you're careless, you didn't call me. We don't give them a chance to explain. This is a child who could have gone in the morning, come back tired. I lost my phone, or my phone was not, ran out of charge. I missed the bus, or there was a train strike. Could be n number of reasons, right? But this is what the mind maze does. The mind is meant to think, but it's not meant to overthink. The mind is meant to protect us. In what way? It's a case of fight or flight. We need to know when to face a situation and when to take leave of it. For example, there's a deer and a group of coyotes is chasing it, or a pack of wolves, say. And what will the deer do? Will it stand up to face the wolves? It will take flight. Its mind gets into gear. It knows intuitively, I have to run to save myself. And it will run, and it outruns that pack of wolves. So they may be stronger physically, but they don't have the gait or the speed of a deer. But after a while, this whole pack of wolves is tired out and they stop. And do you know what the deer does? Does it sit down and think, oh my gosh, I'm not coming back into this jungle again, it's full of wolves? No, it goes back to grazing. It goes back to its normal way of living. Back to eating the grass. It's forgotten. Or what do? We great people. What do? We hold on to it. Not only do we hold on to that moment, we tell ourselves, I will never forget what they have said. I will never forget what they have done. And this is what has happened over a long period of time. We have held on to things so that we have a fantastic memory. And our memory files are so good that even 20 years ago, what happened, I remember. I'm not letting go. I will never forgive them. Or it could have been a life event like a bereavement, which can be quite painful, but I'm still holding on to it. Do we ever stop to think, is this helping me in this moment? Can I reverse what has happened in the past? We can't, right? Situations will happen. But as we take one step in front of another, we have to realize that I have to keep learning. And the question that I have to ask myself is, what do I do in this situation? So there's a little story. Would you like to hear a story? So there are two travelers. They're crossing a desert. So they've made their arrangements. They've got their water. They have their food and everything. And both of them are crossing the desert. So one of them asks the other one, have you got enough water? He says, yeah, we do. Have you got enough food? Yes, we do. Now come, let's not waste our energy. Let's walk. We have a long way to walk to the next oasis. As they're walking, the second one's thinking, what if I run out of water? Is there any food? I can't see any way out of here. What if there's a dust storm, a sandstorm? And he's thinking and thinking and thinking, and then he realizes that the first one has already reached the next oasis, and he's filling up water again. So whilst one of them was enjoying the journey, the other one was in a mind maze, thinking of every possible disaster that could happen. Because the mind will always trying to protect us, it will try to find perceivable problems and the solutions to them. So in trying to find every solution to every disaster which has not happened and may never happen, we miss the beauty of the journey. We miss the scenarios which we could have enjoyed. And then we have nothing to report because we are constantly in this maze. There's another story about two monks. You may have heard this. And these two monks, you know what monks are. They are renunciates, they're very pure beings. And they're very silent. They practice a lot of mindfulness. And these two monks have to cross. They're going somewhere. And then there comes a stream. And the pebbles and rocks are quite slippery. And they see this woman. She's trying to cross the stream as well, but she's frightened of slipping and falling and, And now monks, they won't touch a woman. The older monk asks, Sister, can I help you? He says, I'm really frightened. He says, okay, I'll carry you across the stream. So he lifts her and he carries her across the stream, puts her down, and they continue. 5 hours I've gone, and he decides, he says, now let's rest here. While they're resting, the younger monk says, can I ask you a question? He says, yes. You carried a woman. He says, she needed help. And after we crossed the stream, I put her down, but you are still carrying that thought with you. I put her down 5 hours ago and finished. We always are here to help others, but we don't hold on to what we have done. We don't hold on to the rights and wrongs. We do what we are meant to do. Does that make sense? How often is it that we wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and the mind is in a maze? Do you experience that? Just have a little thought. What is it that wakes me up suddenly? And what is the feeling I'm going through at that time? Often it happens that the mind is picking up on every single decision that I may have made in life and trying to find what was wrong with it. Isn't it? We put ourselves down, we are procrastinating, or every time we have procrastinated, we put off a decision, we've thought a lot about it, and I spend the whole night wondering where I went wrong, putting myself down. This is a mind maze. So it moves, and I not only do I do that, I keep thinking about it over and over and over again. Have you noticed a hamster on a wheel? How this hamster goes round and round this wheel, and we think, oh, how lovely, he's enjoying himself. He's not going anywhere, he's just going round and round. And one day I thought, my God, does he not get a headache? Does he not feel dizzy? Same thing with a roller coaster ride. Everybody wants to go on a roller coaster ride. Oh, I've been on this massive roller coaster ride. You go and you're screaming, gosh, when will this stop? When will this stop? But we're not really going anywhere. We're just going round and round, and it gives us a headache. So that's what has happened, overthinking. So it's not that we can stop thoughts. The mind's nature is to think. And what does it think about? What is the food for thought? Now, where is this food for thought coming from? What would you say? Past impressions, yes, absolutely. And past impressions happen due to experiences with life and people, with interactions, through interactions. And often we don't remember the words that are spoken in an interaction, but we remember the experience we've had with them. Many a times family members they take us for granted. We take our family for granted. And sometimes we will speak in a tone, a pitch, or words that aren't very conducive to anybody's health, that aren't very nice. But if there's a sensitive person in the family, they hold on to it. And they will replay it in their mind over and over. This is looping, repeatedly playing it over and over in your mind. And then few years pass by, you're still repeating that and still coming into the same experience. What is actually happening is each time we relive an experience, it's as though it's happening in our present moment. So it's now something that may have happened well into the past has become the same experience in my present. Because the mind does not know real from fantasy. The mind will not know real from fantasy. But it only creates the thought. But every thought carries a feeling. And who is experiencing the feeling? Is it the body? The mind is creating the thought. I am no good. Just a thought. I am no good. Nobody likes me. I'm not good enough. I never pass my driving test. I never pass this exam. I'm good for nothing. How does that make you feel? Awful. And how often do we repeat these thoughts? I'm not saying we repeat them, but it can happen. And what happens then is I come into that feeling and then I start to believe it. I create my belief system. You see how the maze of the mind can be. And soon, what starts as a simple thought becomes this tangled maze. And I'm caught in it so badly. It's like my emotional death. And then I stop having the confidence or the courage to stand up and take stock of myself. Till somebody comes along, a good fellow being or a friend, and says, "What's wrong with you?" "Oh no, I'm not good enough." "Who told you that?" "You keep telling yourself this." "Let's see how good you are. Come on, you remember you made that dinner for me the other day, or maybe 3 months ago. What did I make? Oh, I want that cheesecake and I want this dal you made or whatever. I want you to make that again. And what this friend is doing is changing their state of mind, giving them something to do, an alternative. And this is what we have to do. And suddenly their state of mind changes, the inner energy levels change. All that is happening is we're going from darkness into light, which means heaviness to lightness. Because I am creating the heaviness within me. So if I can create heaviness, I can also create lightness. Because who is the most important person to you? Truthfully answer, who is the most important person to you? Absolutely, myself. Do I do anything for anybody? That's a really important question you have to answer. Do I do anything for anybody? Yes? Why do you do things for others? That's the next question. Why do we do things for others? We love them. Why do we need to love them? Because they're my family and I love my family. I love my family, so I do things for them. Basically, I'm doing everything for me because I want to feel happy, so I do it for them. I want to feel loved, so I do it for them. Unless and until I am filled with love, peace, happiness, joy, unless I have the wisdom of how to be light and easy, I'm not going to be able to spread these vibrations. I can't be unhappy, caught in a mind maze, and think, I've got to make my children really light and easy. It's their exams, they must be light and easy. And here I'm wondering, goodness, they don't study. How are they going to clear this exam? If we have opposite thoughts here, we are causing great confusion. You know, tennis players, Andy Murray and all these, they have shared that the coach would say, watch where do you want the ball to fall and where do you want it to go? See it in your mind's eye. See it in your mind's eye. And that's exactly what he did the first time that he won. He practiced it and practiced it. There's another case of, I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he was riding a bicycle and he fell. There's a truck that hit his bicycle and in effect he fell and his backbone compacted. And everybody, all his doctor friends said that you'll have to be in a bodysuit. He had his own surgery and practice and he says, for life you will be in there. But you make a decision and let us know. And he said no. What he did for a few months was he was lying on his front And he would reconstruct every single vertebra, tendon, muscle in his back as though it was fresh, as though it was already complete. And if the pain overtook him, he would restart. And over a couple of months or 3 months, the entire vertebrae formed. And he went back to his surgery. This is the power of our mind. We can achieve anything we put our mind to, but we have to be very aware. Because I am the most important person to myself. Does that make sense? I mean, if anyone, all those on webcast also, have a deep thought about it. Whose mind is it? Whose mind is it? My mind. So who am I? Am I the mind? Am I the body? Who am I? In these 2 words, human being, am I human, hummus, mud? Or am I the being that animates this body, present in this body, the light of these eyes, the one who's creating thought, the one who's the experiencer of every situation that is happening? What would you say? This body is of the 5 elements. More than 70% is water. Right? Bones and muscles is mud. And scientists say that every cell releases photonic energy. There is space. All the organs are moving freely, even though we have the rib cage and the skeletal system. All the systems, the voluntary, involuntary systems are working in perfect harmony. And yet the body has the brain and the spinal cord, the nervous system is not the thinker. Who do you think is the thinker of all these thoughts? The creator of all these thoughts? It's a question, isn't it? It's a question to ponder over. So human being. Human being. Being is a verb. It's a state. At this point in time, if I were to ask you, what is your state of being within? Don't think of the past, don't think of the future. In this moment, what is your state of being? How do you feel at this point in time? You're tired? Okay. Any other answers? Focused, very good, yeah. Because you are listening. Because why am I listening? Because I'm interested. This is a fantastic topic, isn't it? Unraveling the mind maze. First, we have to realize that we are in a maze. The mind is in a maze. It's like wool, when mothers knit. And then the child will take the wool and suddenly it becomes all a jumble. It's all entangled. Same thing, it's this mind, is all these thoughts are coming from information that I, the being, the presence within this body, is taking from the outside world. Through the eyes, the windows of the eyes, I'm seeing everybody. Through the ears, I can hear. Through this mouth, I can taste. And I can speak. The skin helps me to check the temperature and then protect the body. But the decisions are mine, what I do with all the information that is coming within. But the mind doesn't know this. If I don't pay attention and focus on what thoughts are being created, it will move like wild horses. They say the mind moves in 5 different directions, listening to what's happening, seeing everything. All thoughts are confused. Thoughts are not confused. There are thoughts, I get confused. So now, knowing that these thoughts are there, I don't fight them. Because I can't, let me stop focusing on stopping thoughts. In Hindi, there's a word called aman. they say, a lot of yogis will say that our focus is to become a man, meaning no mind. And that's not possible. That is impossible. The mind is a great faculty of the soul. And soul is just a term for being, the presence, the energy that I am. Non-physical, metaphysical, eternal, immortal, awesome. I am awesome. Say that. I am awesome because I have the power to create. And how do I create? Through the faculty of, what do I need to first think of creating something? What do I have to do? I have to create a thought about what I wish to create. We have mobile phones today. Somebody had a thought. Instead of this cord, phones with cords, let me create something. They had a thought. And today we have all these wonderful little computers in our hands, capable of doing anything. I mean, even 35, 40 years ago, if someone said to us, you know what, I can take a picture and send it to Australia in a second. We would have thought, impossible. What are you talking about? And today, we don't need to send a picture. We make a whole film and send it within minutes. It's all from thought. There is never any speech without thought. Correct? But it happens so fast that now we have to be really aware. Let me be aware of what I'm saying. Sitting here, I'm very conscious of myself because every word has to be weighed. Every word has to have meaning. And therefore, my thought process has slowed down. When I speak slowly and I speak words that make sense, all I'm doing is slowing the thought process. Focus. And the main focus comes when between two thoughts, I create that space of silence, where I don't think of anything. So if I can just ask or request all of you to have a look at this. Do you see this vase with the flowers? Just for a few seconds, rest your eyes on those flowers. I'm not asking you to create any thought or judgment about the vase or the flowers. Just rest your eyes on them. Okay. And now, if I may request you to rest your eyes on the picture behind me. No thought, no judgment, simply observing. And gradually move your gaze to this colorful wheel on my left. And those on the webcast, you can choose to just rest your eyes on anything at your table, at your hands. And now, if you can bring your attention back to the room. Now, how was that? Simple, very nice, simple. Was there any other thought? Did you go into the past? Did you go into the future? Did you go into the what ifs? No. You feel, in this moment, do you feel safe? Is there any worry or anxiety? And this is the stage we need to return to. Past is gone. It's like a dream. Sapna. In Hindi, the word is sapna. It's a dream. It's not going to come back. It's not going to happen again. At least not in this lifetime. Future? Who knows? It hasn't come yet. Right? The present? I am very aware. The present is the only time that I can own. How many of us would like to own my present moment? So to be in the present moment, let me be very focused on myself, the thinker of every thought, the creator of every experience, the master of the mind, the master of my intellect, which is buddhi, the master of my own personality, my own character, my own decisions. Now you have to ask yourself, is that possible, or is the mind my master? What would your decision be? Or do we say, we can't help it. The mind just moves. But whose mind is it? My mind. That's why it is said, the mind is a great slave, but the worst master. It tells me, I, the master, you may be the master, but I run your kingdom. I'm going to rule your kingdom. And that's what's happened, isn't it? What is my kingdom? What is my inner world like? Is it in a maze, confused, no clarity, darkness, unhappiness, fear, anxiety? Because the mind says, they said this to you, they did this to you, they took your money away, they took your position away. All thoughts that I am creating. Because there's also one law which says that whatever is meant to happen will happen. But what is not meant to happen will not happen. So let me not think about it again and again and make it happen. Because whatever we think about repeatedly will manifest in our physical world. Because we are creating it over and over and over again. So whilst the mind brings up things from the past, the subconscious mind has a lot stored in it. Agreed? And therefore, while sitting, sometimes you'll have a feeling of great happiness. Sometimes you'll feel a bit low and you're wondering why we are feeling so low. But let me look at all these thoughts and feelings that are coming up. But they're coming up on the sky of my mind, like clouds in the sky. That's all they are. So if you see the physical clouds in the sky, some of them are heart-shaped, different shapes, and you like a particular cloud of a particular shape and say, oh, that's my cloud. Can you hold on to that cloud? Can you hold on to that cloud? No, you can't. You simply allow it to pass. On a sunny, rainy day, you see beautiful rainbows. You keep looking till they start to fade away. You'll take pictures, maybe a video, you'll send them off across the world, but yet they will fade. Because in this world, the only thing constant is change. So allow the change to happen. Don't resist it. Accept that it has happened. Many life situations come. Like we said, it can be bereavement, it can be change in relationships, and it causes a lot of chaos here. Mind is constantly thinking, overthinking. COVID time, a lot of people were furloughed and then they lost their jobs. And I know because both my sons, the same thing happened with them. They said, Mom, what do we do? I said, what is there to worry about? You all have saved some money, haven't you? Yeah, but not a lot. That's okay. I'm working. Because I had no worry. He said, you're not worried about your job? I said, no. This goes, another one will come up. What's there to worry about? Because can I help control what's happening out in the outside world? The only thing I kept telling myself, it's only a bend, not the end. And every bend is like a river. We flow like a river. A river will take the path of no resistance. If there's a big boulder or rocks in the way, it's not concerned. It's not going to be hitting against the rocks and move out of my way. It will just move, meander. Same thing with us. Things will not happen always according to how we want them to happen. And it doesn't matter because each one of us is on a journey. Yeah? And this journey can be like a cross-country race, or it can be like an obstacle race. And in an obstacle race, are the players, the runners, complaining, I don't want this obstacle. Why is this bog come in front of me, which I have to run across? Or why has this mountain come that I don't want to go over it? It's an obstacle race. You're meant to enjoy it. But we have forgotten that we are travelers. We are travelers, right? Every step we take, everywhere, every time we wake up, things change. Things can change in a minute. One phone call can change everything, isn't it? Yeah. But do not resist. The moment we resist, our mind will go. You were going to go on a holiday and our work has called you back. Can you help it? Would you say, I'll leave my job, but I'm going on this holiday? No. You accept. You don't resist. You accept. But at the same time, just stand back and observe. Stand back from the situation. Distance yourself from this. Okay, it's a disappointment. I can't get onto that plane. I have to get, because of my position. There are times that can happen. You can't go. COVID came, everybody's holidays stopped. Nobody could fly out. Many lost their money. Many who paid on their credit cards could get their money back. But this is all part and parcel of life. If I start to think about it, I just make things worse for myself. This is just one small example. And this is why it is said, distance yourself from what has happened. It's external to us. Don't take it personally, because many things will happen. Many good things have also happened, but we never think about those. Why do we think of the bad things that have happened? So-called bad things. Why do we think constantly about them? What do you think is the reason for it? Insecurity, fear. Exactly. Media is a big one. Newspaper, mobile phones, WhatsApp messages, emails. Previously, a few years ago, the only worry of the mind used to be thinking of ways and means to avoid tigers in jungles and forests. Today, those tigers have changed. They've become our objectives to meet. Emails, all of this has become the tigers of today. Now we are fighting these. Isn't it? It's a fact. But I can choose, I'm not going to fight. I accept. If I can meet my objectives, I will. If I can't, I will tell my manager, I'll tell my team that you all are great, you're very smart, you can do things in 4 hours, I need 24. And that's what I did. Because this mind works slow. I could teach, because I used to teach biology to high school students in India. It came easy. Working in a bank, wasn't that easy. It took me a long, long time. When you think you know how to do things, everything changes. They'll change the systems, they'll change the software. Now you have to learn again. I said, oh no, again? But I realized over time, because I was resisting change, change kept happening. And I said, all right, one day, bring it on. It's okay. Because my mind was telling me you can't do it. The fear was coming in. I would wake up, I was lying awake at night. I don't know how to do this. My colleagues are so much better than me. I'm good for nothing. And then one day I said, what are you thinking about? Because you see, our body starts to go into a reaction. For example, even the thought of fear, somebody's walking behind me. Just create a thought. You're out on a walk and it's gone dark. And you say, I think someone's walking behind me. The body goes into a tremor. It's a reaction in the body. But I've only created one thought. I turn back and see there's nobody there. I've created an image. This is how powerful I am. But if I can use the mind to create an experience that causes fear and anxiety, I can also use the mind to create thoughts that give me the best experiences. I cannot control the changes in situations. I cannot control other people's minds. I cannot control their journey. We may have children, but we cannot, create the road for them and walk it for them. They have to do it themselves. It is our fear that they may make a mistake or they'll get, they will lose their money. And we have to allow them. We have to give them the freedom. Similarly, I have to give myself the freedom to be open, to be connected to the wider world, to see the bigger map. Because life is meant to be lived, to be walked. It's a beautiful journey. There are no obstacles. There are no problems. It's only a concept that the mind creates. If I detach myself and observe it as a scene on a stage, yeah, COVID happened, lots of other things happen. I lose my job, say for example, put it on a stage. Okay, I'm here. Yesterday I had this job, good money. Today I don't have this job. Then observe what's going on here. Okay, you can't do anything about it. Stop thinking. Sometimes even that is difficult. Change the focus, just deep breathe. Breathe in deeply. If I can request you to just take a deep breath. And another one. And another one. Now, is your mind quiet? Yeah? Because you see, the mind can't be in a maze and be present in the body at the same time. It can only do one of two things. Now, which experience is better? To be caught in the maze or to be shifting your focus and being the master again? Which one would you choose? To be the master. We take back our mastery. We take back our sovereignty. So once you have observed yourself, now steer your thoughts. Find a different solution. Name it. Yes, this is happening to me. I'm feeling this, but change the words. What am I feeling? The energy of anxiety is what is being experienced by me. Don't say I'm anxious. No, you're not anxious. You're only experiencing the energy of anxiety. When you speak like that, see the difference. I am anxious. I'm having panic attacks. No, you're not. Don't accept that. You are in the experience of something which was termed as panic. Let me deep breathe. I accept it is happening. But it was like a storm. Storms don't come to stay, they will pass. And each one of us experiences something or another like this. So none of us is free from it because we have had many life experiences and we will continue to have them. The difference is in changing our perspective. Is that possible? And how do I change my perspective? So the one thing that really helped me is for me to separate myself from the being, from the situations. I am the master, the sovereign, and I can use my mind to create the best thoughts, because the thoughts that I create, the vibrations of those thoughts create the environment in my body. So what are the experiences I wish to experience for myself? And the moment you pose this inquiry, you ask the mind, what's the best experience you can give to me? Sometimes ask the mind, tell me mind, why am I so happy today? Ask positive questions. Why do I feel as though I'm the master, as though I have everything in my life? Because actually I do. Whatever I need in this moment I have. I'm so grateful. Tell me, mind, how did you make it possible for me? And see the answers. The mind is so confused, it doesn't know what to say. Another thing is, if the mind is in a maze, thoughts are coming up, don't worry. Don't try to stop it. It'll make it worse. Just put it down on paper. Okay, this. All the thoughts that are coming, put it out on paper. The mind feels comfortable that they're not lost, they're there. It's interesting psychology. They are there. Okay, great. Now go to rest. So I'm going to stop here and just take some questions from you. This is only a little bit that I wanted to share because all of this I've used on myself because sensitivity was a big issue here. And over time, I've overcome a lot of it, a lot of overthinking, just by using these little techniques. Yeah, so any questions you have? Anything you would like to share? So you discussed about negative thoughts. Yeah.
We discussed about negative thoughts, and we said they come as a result of media, fear.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any more depth that we can go into that?
Negative thoughts?
Somehow it's not completely making sense.
Okay, so yes, I see what you're saying. Okay, so we have a huge number of sources of information. There's a difference between information and knowledge. We study a lot of subjects. A simple analogy, but you choose in A levels or graduation, you choose particular subjects, or do you choose all 11, 12, 13 subjects that you studied in school? You choose a few subjects to study. You might graduate, you might study medicine or engineering or, I don't know, whatever you want to study, you choose. Similarly, media is there everywhere around us. They say news. The news is about everything wrong that is happening. They never highlight the good that is happening. Among us also, how much do we speak about the good? How much do we spread good? How much do we try to change other people's versions of themselves, versions of ourselves? So media is there, but the choice is mine. Who's making the choice to take in all this? Because I have to remember that my subconscious mind is taking in everything. So I have a choice what I wish to store in my consciousness. Because whatever food I take from outside, my thoughts are going to be based on that food. Food for thought. So let me nourish myself. Because it's my mind, my destiny. My decisions, my actions, they create my destiny. So the first thing in the morning, firstly, an hour before, this is the practice that I do, an hour before going to bed, I'm away from the phone, media, none of this. I read something and I'll sit in silence. You know the silence we said between two thoughts? What is it like to be not thinking about anything, just being myself? This beautiful point of light. Let's meditate on this. If you just relax your bodies, and just be very present. Observe your body. Observe how it gradually breathes in and out. Experience every feeling that is within. And now, bring your entire focus to this very beautiful star-like light in the highest position of this body. just behind the eyes. It's a luminous light, a light that is alive, vibrant. And very gradually emerge from within this wonderful feeling of silence, with all the sounds that are around me. I am in this very, very sacred and silent inner space. And in this space, there is no sound. I simply observe this, taking in the silence around me. It empowers me as it slows down the mind completely, allowing the brain to rest and the body to be silent too. I begin to experience peace. It isn't the absence of sound, but peace is within me already. I simply need to connect with this inner space of quiet, like the still and calm waters of a lake. The lake reflects me, the light within. And I create an intention that whatever happens, wherever I go, I will carry this experience of peace with me. My intention now becomes like a little ripple on the waters of this lake. I am this awareness experiencing a deep silence. This awareness is the foundation, and my intention to remain calm and harmonious is the direction I choose to follow. And in this silent inner space, I begin to realize that I have always been a peaceful being. I simply forgot. Caught in the galaxy of things external to me, family, friends, work, possessions, competitions. I forgot that I need not run after anything or anyone. I am already complete and I am already full. I simply need to realize the fullness of myself as a being of peace, a loveful being, a joyous being. I choose my thoughts carefully, and in between, I choose to remain silent, for it is in this silent space that I recharge, reforming and repossessing that which I had lost. the peace within my thoughts, the peace that I already am. Everything starts and ends with me. I am the master, the sovereign. Let me hold this conviction deep within myself. And each time a doubt arises, I remember that these are only mind games. I continue on my journey. But now, I move with intention and with awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Suparna, for the wonderful talk and all the tools and tips given. And especially I like the way you explain how the maze of the mind can be in a deeper way. So that was very interesting. Thank you very much. And before we go, there's a few announcements. Next week, same time, same place. And the topic is Clear Your Inner Edge. Sunday morning meditation, which is online only. And timing for that is 10 to 10:45. So everybody is welcome to join. You can join through our website. We do have the Overcoming Anger in person on 19th and 20th of November, which is Wednesday and Thursdays, 5:30 to 7 in the evening. So whoever wishes to join, you can register through our website. And our regular reflective meditations every Mondays and Thursdays, 7 to 7:30 in house. So as well. Once again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to all our online viewers to joining us as well. And have a safe journey back home. And sorry, before I go, I think I'll forget to announce the book in line with today's talk. Being Yourself with My Church. It's available in the shop. So you can browse through on your way out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And have a safe journey back. Okay. I hope you've taken something of benefit, but we can hear a lot of things. It's the real proof is when we experiment with it, you experience it, and that's the proof in the pudding. Yeah, so wishing you all the very, very best. Om Shanti. Thank you. Good night.